Coach,
Coach,
kind of
this
talk
is
about what you guys got done with the inter squads this weekend in lieu of not being able to play baseball games.
Of course, we would have liked to played somebody if we could have been able to pick them up, but it just wasn't possible. There wasn't anybody available out there to play that weekend. We had FIU scheduled to come in and play a couple games, but they didn't make the tournament, so obviously that was eliminated from the opportunity to play. But we practiced on Wednesday and Thursday, took Monday and Tuesday off, inter squatted Friday and Saturday, and then light practice on Sunday and Monday. So just trying to keep some game reps going, for the pitchers and for the hitters there on Saturday or Friday and Saturday.
Did y'all have a pitch count going in for your starters?
No, it wasn't a pitch count, just a couple of innings. And, I think there was one time where there was a quick inning, maybe Walker had a quick inning, and we had him stay out there for another hitter just to kind of get that up a little bit. But, rest is a good thing as well. So, but we just wanted to stay sharp. We were going to throw bullpens regardless. And they wanted to do live work rather than throw a bullpen.
Coach, this is Joe Cook from WAPT down in Jackson. Congrats on all the Conference USA awards they were handing out today. I want you to talk about Reed Trimble, just the fact that he's made such an impact as a freshman. What is it like just seeing the way he's kind of just embraced this college game so quickly?
Well, I think we identified him as a talented player coming out of Northwest Rankin and thought that certainly he had a high ceiling, a guy that had a lot of ability that was going to develop. Obviously, he probably developed a little quicker than what we'd anticipated, in all honesty. I mean, he really grasped the Division I level very, very quickly. Some guys, it takes a little longer for them to adjust to the speed of the game. But, being Reed, he didn't have any trouble with that. We really saw it last year. He started out at the beginning of last year hurt a little bit, and then he there at that last game that we played before COVID hit us, he left the yard over there and had a really good game against Troy. We played at Montgomery, and I think that really just kind of set a precedent for where we felt like he was going to be and where he could take us. And he didn't let off the throttle at all when he got back with us this past fall. He worked really hard, continued to improve defensively in the outfield. I thought that was his most improvement was out there. But he's really secured that as a great defensive player for us. Offensively, the numbers speak for itself. But just an exciting player, a 5-tool player that works hard, loves to play the game, is hard on himself when he's not successful, which continues to drive and push him to be the best he can.
Coach, such a young team. You guys have played the tournament in Mississippi. I mean, I guess since 14 tournaments been in Mississippi. Have you approached this tournament any different, having to go on the road with a young team, or is it just, steady as she goes?
No, just hadn't approached it any different. He just, show and go. Today we had a practice from 150 to 250, and, it involved just some ground ball work and some BP, and got out of there. Each team has an hour to practice. The good thing about we being at Louisiana Tech, we did play 4 games here earlier in the year, so we're familiar with their stadium and how it plays. So that was an advantage, I think, coming into us and everybody else on our side that has played here.
Do you feel the short dimensions there at Love Field? Do you think that's going to play a big part in the tournament this week?
Well, it could be if people hit it where those short dimensions are. Of course, today it played big. The wind was blowing straight in, and the ball didn't seem to carry quite as much as we've seen it before. So I think it's it's one of those variables that's going to change from day to day. And you as a hitter, you as a defensive player, you have to adjust to that. You as a pitcher, you have to adjust to whatever those variables are on any given day. So it is a unique ballpark where the dimensions are a little deceiving in areas, and where left center plays really, really big. It's hard to get out where it says 370. That plays probably the biggest of the whole park. But, at times there, right field where it says 350 does play just what it says, 350.
Coach, has Western announced a starter yet for tomorrow night's game?
They have. I can't pronounce his name, but he's a left-hander that started game 3 against Etheridge for us. So
Turbrack, I believe, is
Jack says, what is it?
Turbrack.
Turbrack is what he says. So it's the one that went game 3 that Etheridge pitched.
Yeah, Coach, you had mentioned WKU and the pitchers you're going up against that you've seen them already. You guys had success in the regular season, but for you guys, now it's like, basically a new season. What's that like, going against a team for the second time around? Is it kind of, when you had success, is the pressure more on you guys, or do you come in there with confidence knowing, okay, we had success against these guys in the regular season?
Well, I think, Joe, whenever you start a conference tournament or you start a new season of some sort in a season, everybody's slate is wiped clean. So anything that's happened in the past is irrelevant to what we're trying to do right now. And, from here on out, it's a game by game, approach that we're going to take. In Western Kentucky, where we won 3 out of 4 at our place, 2 of those were 1-run games. The first 2 games were 6-5 ball games against them. They're a very talented bunch that have some really good hitters at the top of their lineup. It wasn't just a cakewalk with them in the 3 games that we won. So we certainly know there's a challenge. They have a sense of urgency because what they didn't get accomplished in the conference regular season, now is wiped away, and they have an opportunity to start it all over again, just like a new season. So that sense of urgency, I'm sure, will be prevalent tomorrow. And we as our program, we just have to concentrate on going out and continuing to play good baseball like we've been doing.
Anything else?
Coach, this tournament this year with so many teams ranked high in the RPI, how long has it been? Maybe, I don't know, Conference USA been having a conference tournament where so much is at stake, maybe on the national level with host and seating and teams working their way in. Do you remember one this big?
No, I haven't. I don't think, since I've been at Southern Miss for 21 years now, I don't think that we've had this many variables of just national status. Like you mentioned, where host possibilities. You have 20 possible host site out there right now that NCAA announced a couple of weeks ago. We ourselves, Charlotte and Louisiana Tech, are 3 of those 20, which is pretty outstanding. But it says a lot for our conference where we are. We've got 4 teams right now in the top 25, I think, in polls and in RPI. We've got another team on the outside, FAU, who's back healthy. I think they're as healthy as they've ever been. Coming in at 61 yesterday. They've been as low as 59 in the last week. But yesterday they were at 61 RPI, playing really good baseball. We saw that when we ended our regular season at their place. So, I think there's 5 really good teams that have potential to be invites to the regionals.
Obviously, congrats on the award today. Going into the season, what's been the biggest difference this year for you in terms of, did you add a pitch or did you fine tune something that's really added to your mix this season? Just from my perspective, it looks like your change is better than it's ever been.
Yeah, I think 2 things. I think just the experience I've gotten up to this point. Every year it's gotten, more and more familiar to pitch in big time games and just at the college level. I mean, the more you pitch at that level, the more, the better you get and the more polished you get. And also, I think I've added a change up this year that I've thrown a lot more than I have in years past. And I think that's been a big out pitch for me. And, that's done well for me. So change up and just maturity on the mound.
Hey, Walker, this is Joe Cook from WAPT. When you hear pitcher of the year and your name attached, what kind of just goes through your mind, man?
It was a great feeling. I found out today, Coach, after practice, we went over to practice at La Tech's field, and Coach Barry read off the accolades to us. And yeah, when I heard that, it was awesome. I felt, relieved, like I had been working for that for years now. And, I've come so close multiple times, and, it's pretty special that for me that, I got to do it in my last year. So it was awesome. And, also, obviously my teammates, Reed and Charlie and Hunter Stanley and Ryan Ogg, Ben Etheridge. And if I'm leaving out anybody else too, they all did great as well, and deserved every award that we got. So it was awesome.
Walker, you kind of veteran at Southern Miss. Going into this tournament, you've played in a lot of tournaments. Is this maybe the most stacked conference tournament you've gotten to play in yet because of all the teams? I mean, 1 through 8, they're good baseball teams, but you really got 4 that are ranked, FAU that's hot right now. Is this probably the best you've been involved with?
I think so. I think definitely. I mean, in years past, we've always, I still feel like we have the ability to beat anybody, and in our minds we come in as the top dog, and that's how we play against anybody. So, but yeah, I think this year especially we got Charlotte, Old Dominion, La Tech. They're good teams, man. They're good. They're going to give some people trouble in a regional, and I think like Coach Barry was saying, that's good for our conference. It just shows how far our conference has come. And I think honestly the talent level in college baseball has just increased drastically over the past 3-4 years. And you see a lot more guys throwing 95, whereas my freshman year we had a couple guys on our staff throwing 90. And yeah, just the talent level is increasing a lot, and I think with that the teams are getting better. And yeah, this tournament this year as opposed to last is definitely more of a high stakes tournament. And yeah, so it's going to be fun.
Can you talk a little bit about that, Walter? Because you just said guys that are throwing 95 plus. You're a guy sinker ball, low 90s, but you've had so much success with the fastball getting faster and different things. Can you talk about what you do well, or what makes you such a good pitcher at this point in your college career?
Yeah, well, I think just my ability to pitch. I'm not a guy that's going to blow 95 past you. I've hit 95 a few times this year, but very rarely. I typically sit in the low 90s, but my fastball cuts and my two-seam sinks, and I've figured out, since I've been here for so long, I've figured out how to pitch. And I've always been a strike thrower, and I don't know, I just have that ability to navigate through a lineup, making as little mistakes as I can. And I'd like to think Coach Oz has really helped me with that, with how to just polish my mechanics and polish my my craft. And it's I've never been able to blow fastballs by people, so I was forced from a young age to learn how to pitch. Speed up, slow down, all that. So that's how.
Walker, you guys are playing in a familiar place. Given that this conference tournament is so stacked and a lot is on the line, does it help that you guys are playing a place where you guys have played before? I know you're a veteran. You think does that help out the young players? Did it help you out when you were younger, maybe as a sophomore going to a tournament? Oh, we played here before. Does that really matter?
I personally think it does. I always, I like pitching in places that I've pitched before at. I don't know. I can't speak for the other guys, but I like to think they think the same thing, especially with pitching. I mean, hitters, it might be a little bit different, but pitching, if you get on a mound that you've been on before and that you've visualized, that you've actually thrown to hitters on. And it makes a difference. You're more comfortable from the get-go whenever you get on there, and you know, you don't have to, you know, it takes a mental factor out of it, that you might be a little nervous at first for pitching in a new place, or, you know, whatever, but it definitely it helps that we've played here before, for sure.
Walker, right quick, you mentioned Coach Oz, and he won an award today as well. Can you just maybe talk about him and what he's done for you and this pitching staff since he's been here now for a couple of years, and your progression as a pitcher?
Yeah, Coach Oz is the best coach I've ever had, and honestly, I think I ever will have. He cares so much more about you as a person than he does baseball. You know, obviously he cares about both, but he let's see, he's more of he is a mental coach. Like he cares about how you're doing, and he always is asking how you're doing, and how you're feeling. And he's been like another father figure to me, on and off the field. You know, he's helped me with a lot of mental demons outside of baseball as well. You know I can always go to him and talk, and I could call him whenever I want. He'll pick up the phone and talk to me. And I think that's what makes him a great coach, because it instills this level of trust between us and him, that he builds up with us right when he gets us in the fall. And I feel like that's why us as pitchers, we listen to him so much. We trust him, and we go to war with him. And you know, I think that just shows how much he instills that level of trust with us. And so he's been awesome, man. I couldn't ask for a better pitching coach than him. He's always telling us to, you know, he's the one harping on not walking anybody, no freebies. And I think that shows with I think we're ranked like first in the country for strikeout to walk ratio, and some other categories too. I know we're doing pretty well. So that's all tribute to him, man. He does a great job. So, and he never takes a day off. He's there with every day with a lot of energy, ready to go. And, you know, he gets us in shape good. So, yeah.
All right, Reed, this is Joe Cook from WAPT. First, congrats on getting an all conference. And I got to ask you, man, coming from NWR, did you envision that, just being a freshman and then making, you know, all conference your first year? We talked to Coach Barry. He mentioned that the Troy game last year was when they saw, you know, your potential, or where, you know, your high floor would be. I guess for you personally, what has this year been like for you, and the fact you've had this early success?
So freshman year was at some points was sort of a struggle. You know, I was going back and forth with different approaches at the plate. You know, I was getting a lot more changeups and curveballs and better spotted up fastballs than I was in high school and my senior year. And you know, I had to go back and like sort of dumb everything down and just, you know, understand that I'm here for a reason. And but this year, you know, I've just Coach Oz telling me a lot of changeups, you know, during the fall inter squads, and it really helped me get better, and not only not swinging at them but taking them and then hitting the ones that I can hit. And you know, just I think just having a good year this year, just all relied on just coaching and just getting me better.
Reed, talk about. I wanted to ask you about the FAU series. You were in such a zone there. What's it like as a hitter to walk up at the plate and see just the ability to see the ball like that? What's going through your mind? I mean, that's incredible to hit 4 home runs in a weekend and what you did.
You know, it's just it's not getting too big. I mean, I think anybody can really do it. I mean, it's just understanding your plan at the plate and understanding what you're capable of, and I had a little help. The wind was absolutely howling the whole weekend out, and I knew if I hit something hard and had a little bit of elevation on it, it had a chance, but I wasn't trying to. And it was just a line drive approach, and I just those line drives just happened to sneak over the wall. So just seeing the ball, just seeing it in a good zone, getting in good hitters counts, and understanding what I can do.
What point playing baseball did you lock in on that you could be a switch hitter like that and go from power from both sides of the plate?
I guess really high school. I wasn't really. I'm still not all that big. I've had to do a lot of things. Being a smaller guy, I work hard in the weight room to be strong. And because I'm not gonna be a 6'2", 215-pound unit. Just being as strong as I can be in my frame, and and I understood that in high school, and I've never really tried to hit for power. It just happens. So it's just the line drives that just happen to sneak out, and then the balls that I get under a little bit, they go out. And I've had some really good baseball players tell me that hitting home runs are accidents, because you're trying to hit line drives, you're trying to backspin line drives, and when an accident does happen, it's when you do hit a line drive and it is a backspin ball, but you get a little bit more under it, and it just happens to leave the ballpark.
Reed, y'all have already played obviously against Western Kentucky. Just going back to that, what are your takeaways on that ball club and y'all's mindset going into this game with them? What you expect from that ball club?
I remember playing them. They were a really scrappy team with the bats. They probably had like 4 or 5 guys that could really, really run. We just got to be prepared for anything, whether it's offensively or defensively. And just, like I said, be prepared for anything, whether they lay down a bunt, backing up everything. Because, a regular person, you throw a ball away, they get an extra base. But with them, you throw a ball away because you're lackadaisical, they can get 2, maybe 3 extra bases if it gets far enough away. So, just be ready for everything.
Reed, we were talking to, Walker, and I know Coach Berry knows it's going to be a very competitive tournament. As a young guy who's had success, and just looking at the talent around you, for you guys, I guess, how are you guys just feeling about yourselves and the kind of baseball you're playing right now going into this tournament? Do you think there's even another level that you can reach now that's a quote-unquote new season? I guess, what do you think is USM baseball at right now going to this tournament?
I think there's always another level you can get to, especially with this sport. When failure is so high in this sport, like this sport, when failure is so high, just about anything a little bit extra can push you over and get you a win. And I feel really confident about how we're coming into this tournament. We had a really, really good weekend last weekend of inter squads, and we got to do that and see more pitching and see our pitching that has been so good all year. And like I said, I feel really confident in this week.